Breaking today is news that Trump plans to name Larry Kudlow his top economic advisor. And Kudlow saying on CNBC that I am honored to take the job. I guess reports say that this could happen as soon as tomorrow. Miles, does it matter who is in this job? Does it matter that it's Larry Kudlow that's taking the job? Is there anything for the market to hang its hat on with this news?
Also saying, Jen, as you're talking, that China has, quote, earned a tough response. So I think that, Larry Kudlow, well-respected, longtime Wall Street veteran. He was, of course, at Bear Stearns, was a member of the Reagan administration. Most people know him now for his role on CNBC, but it's been a long career, and he's done a lot of other things. Talked to a couple economists today who said he's certainly qualified for this role, even though we mostly know him as someone, again, who has recently been on television. But I think that China comment was interesting because over the years, Larry has been a pretty generic Republican when it comes to economic policy, right? So it wants,
free trade,
fiscal restraint, free trade, lower taxes, all these sorts of things. But it'll be very interesting to see how closely he hews to the president's line on a number of things. I know that we discussed when Gary Cohn stepped down that the next NEC chair was going to basically be a Trump guy through and through, even though he and Cohn came into conflict. And it does feel like that's the way it's going, at least in the first, 3 hours since Kudlow got the job.
Since he got the job, and is also now saying goodbye to the job. He's very emotional right now on air at CNBC.
Don't worry,
goodbye.
He'll be back.
He'll be back.
After
That's
he
what I
leaves
was about to say. I think just to follow up on what Miles is saying, I think spot on about that free trade thing, and I think that tweet is very telling, as you say, that he's going to speak his mind about free trade, but not so much, because to take the job, he knows that he's going to have to swallow this protectionism from the president. The other interesting friction point, potentially, although I'm sure they've sort of figured out a way to get along on this, perhaps, is the dollar. Trump, has sort of said that, maybe weak dollar's okay, and Kudlow has been very adamant about a strong dollar. Yep.
So Larry Kudlow saying on CNBC, I'm honored to take the job. We will, of course, be monitoring this and see what happens tomorrow, if indeed this does start as early as reports are saying.